Is a method to the madness. My name is Rob Maxwell. I'm an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. I'm the owner of Maxwell's fitness programs, and I've been in business since 1994. The purpose of this podcast is to get to the real deal of what really works, and most importantly, why things work. So why don't you exercise? What is your problem? Well, if you're listening to this, you may not have that problem, but you may know some people that do. So let's talk about that. Let's see what we can do, because we want to make a bunch of disciples of exercise. I know I do, because I know it has such a life-changing impact on us. Before I get into that today, let me thank Jonathan and Lynn Gilden of the Gilden Group at Realty Pros. They are committed to providing the highest level of customer service in home sales. Let me tell you, they do. If you follow them on social media, they are constantly helping out their customers. And it all comes back to customer service. So if you want to sell your house, why don't you give them a shout at 386-451-2412. You know, it is 2025. We're in the first month. We're in January, man. Time is flying. You know, as I said in the beginning here, I've been doing this since 1994. Time is flying by. And I was thinking just the other day about how, it's changed a little bit in the exercise world. I do think people are more aware than they used to be as far as the benefits of physical fitness. I can go back to the early 90s when I started, and there were people, of course, that always worked out. You know, there were your muscle heads and your gym goers and everything. There were people that just got it, but it almost seemed like there was them and then there was everybody else, Yeah, even in the 90s, prior to that, it was even more like that. But now, it's not so much that way. Everybody, for the most part, knows they should exercise. And I have a few different clients who are physicians, and they talk to me all the time about how they're referring their patients to go exercise. And I know that many of them do, because they refer to us, they refer different places. So it's become pretty mainstream as far as a medical way of doing things. It's not just for the old gym goers anymore. It's become a legitimate way for people to get into better shape. And the statistics are just there. And I'm not even talking about dietary changes. We've known about that for a long time too. I'm talking about movement. Movement is so critical. And as I said, it's changed. There are people now that can quote things that they were never able to quote. I had a client just say to me so casually the other day, she said, it really is simple. We need to eat less and move more. It really is that simple, and that really is true. But I'm not sure that everybody completely understood that when I first started out. I think there still is a lot of disinformation, don't get me wrong, but it was even greater back then, and people would really think that there was a mysterious certain way they had to exercise to get full benefit. And, fad diets are crazy now, but they're probably even crazier then. I don't know. But I do know that more people make statements like that now than they used to. Of course, there are things we do have to know, but it really is as basic as we need to move more and eat less if we need to lose weight. If we don't need to lose weight, then we just need to eat what we need and move, period. But how do we get people to do it? I often say that if the why is important enough, the how won't matter. People will do it. So why isn't it important enough? So if we know this to be true, and I do think most people know this to be true, this being exercise being beneficial for your health. being beneficial for your activities of daily living, being beneficial to your mental health, your emotional health. I mean, all the time we hear how there's so much more anxiety, so much more depression. I don't know if that's true. I think there always has been. I'm not going to say it's not true, and I'm not going to say it's not a problem, because it is a problem. But I just don't know if it's more than it used to be, or just more people are talking about it, which is actually a very good thing. But we know that exercise has so much benefit on that. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I work out. I mean, I've got it in me that it's good for me. I know that. And I've seen the long-term benefits of it. So I know that's true. But I like to work out every day because it literally puts me in a good mood. It is that simple. I mean, we are hormonal beings. All of us are hormonal beings. I mean, we can maybe not get the greatest night of sleep, and we can be in a little bit of a bad mood. We could eat something that doesn't agree with us, and we can be in a little bit of a bad mood. Depending upon how sensitive we are, we can get a statement made to us or a comment made to us and put us in a bad mood. I mean, heck, I'm just kind of like talking about me here, but I have a feeling most of us are this way. So we're very hormonal, meaning something got triggered, the hormones changed a little bit, and our mood is different. Or it's just the ebbs and flows of our endocrine system that goes up and down. Well, guess what? Exercise changes those ebbs and flows. It will lower your cortisol levels as long as you're not doing too much. And I've talked about that recently a lot with the stress syndrome. It can raise your endorphins, which is your body's natural painkillers. It can increase your serotonin levels, which is what antidepressants do. They keep your serotonin levels kind of raised all the time. They don't let them go back to normal. That's why they're called SSRIs, reuptake inhibitors, so they don't reuptake, they stay elevated. So exercise can do these things, and by no means am I saying don't take the medications that your doctors prescribe. No, you can do both. The point is, we know it works, and we know it works physically. Do you really think your doctors are going to tell you to move more, go to the gym and do some strength training if they didn't know it helped you? Of course not, right? They're on your side. So why don't more people do it? If the why matters enough, the how will become pretty evident. So why? I mean, so people now are taking a lot of the different fat loss drugs, right? I'm not going to knock on that. I have physicians as clients, and I have physicians as friends who have talked to me about this, and they only prescribe it when they know that a person really, really needs it. So whatever. And there are people that I'm sure that really, really need it. If you're a type 2 diabetic and you're morbidly obese, I mean, if you don't, you're silly. I mean, you should do something that's going to get that weight down and improve your health. And then from there, hopefully you also pick up the habits so you can do it without the medication. Of course. And I know most physicians, well, all the physicians I know that prescribe it, always advocate for the person to also change their behaviors at the same time. So it can be a great tool. But I also know some people that take it as a shortcut. They're doing it and then they're not changing their diet, or they're not changing their exercise habits. I mean, come on. Is that really going to work? I mean, has it ever worked in anything in life? Have shortcuts ever worked? If you're doing something to get you jump started, great. If you're doing something to avoid doing the actual work or facing the actual consequence of your bad behavior, it's probably not going to work long term. That's just not the way life works. Nature has a way of balancing everything out. So exercise is the solution to that. I mean, I'm just wondering, you're listening to the podcast, I'm trying to plant some ideas. So maybe the why isn't important enough because once again, there has become more scientific breakthroughs or shortcuts that can enable people to lose weight. Sadly, too many people think of exercise in only regards of losing weight. Again, that's changing, but a lot of people still look at it that way. So they think, well, if this pill or this shot can make me lose weight, why exercise? And again, that's for the people that are only using exercise to lose weight. And for those people, I say you are missing out on many great benefits. But guess what? The shot isn't going to make your arms look good. The shot isn't going to give you that nice rear end, right? The shot's not going to give you those great calves. The shot's not going to give you those bulging biceps if you're a dude walking on the beach, or a nice cut physique, or a V taper if you're a guy walking down the beach, or if you're a gal, whatever, The point is, only exercise is going to shape the muscles. And regardless of what anybody says, and I've said this for a very long time, everybody wants to look better and feel better. I know a lot of people often say things like, well, it doesn't matter how I look. I'm getting older. You know what? BS. Everybody cares how they look. I mean, come on. If that were the case, would there really be so many modifications happening out there? Would there really be a commercial every 3 seconds about skincare products and hair products and different clothes? I mean, come on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody wants to look better. I didn't say better than their neighbor. I didn't say better than the guy on the treadmill next to you. I didn't say better than the girl in the bikini on the beach. I said better than you currently look. In other words, everybody wants to look their best. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And there's a genetic reason why we're geared that way, because most of the time when we look better, we feel better and we're doing better. So it's in our DNA to push our health to great benefits. Of course, people can overdo it. I'm not talking about that. There are people that get a little bit sick and take things too far. And, you all are adults listening to this. That's the case with plastic surgery too. There is some that's like, oh, okay, it's really good. And then there's others that people have taken so far, you look at them and you think you're at a wax museum, right? So anything can be taken too far, of course, but I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is there's no shot, there is no magic diet, there's none of that is going to give you the fitness, the body that you want to have. It's not going to help you climb stairs. It's not going to get that knee pain to go away. It's not going to make your golf swing better to where you're now hitting the ball down the fairway 200 yards. It's not going to improve your pickleball. You may lose some weight. And again, I'm an advocate for people that need to take it. I know people personally that are taking it due to diabetes and it is helping them. Great. I don't get in the way of medical science, but I am a gym guy. And I'm going to tell you right now, as an exercise physiologist, there's no shot in the world that's going to replace physical fitness. You still have to put in the work, and the work is worth it. And if you think it's not worth it, you're lying to yourself. There are people out there that, they sit with their arms folded and they're like, oh, that guy's working out all the time. He's in good shape. Those girls are looking at him. They're not looking at me anymore. I'm old, but I don't care. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You care. It's just that maybe you've decided you don't care enough. Maybe it just doesn't matter enough. Everybody cares how they look until they get, or if they get clinically depressed, and then they don't. And that's obviously not a good place to be. So why does the why matter? The why matters because you're going to look better and you're going to feel better. And if you look better and you feel better, you do better. Follow the science, follow the studies. It shows it all of the time. People that feel better about themselves are nicer, they're more helpful, and they get more done. That person at work that puts in their workout before they go to work, and then they go clean up They put on the best clothes that they have, the best clothes they have. That's the key. They're not trying to like be somebody on Fifth Avenue and try to outdo them. No, they put on the best clothes that they have. They present the best version of themselves. They go to work, and typically they are your best employees. And you know that to be true. And then there's that person that's kind of not motivated yet. Maybe they're younger and they come into work and they look like they just rolled out of bed, and you don't even ask them if they exercised before they came to work that day, because that's not true, and they're just going to give you a really ugly look. But they, barely look like they combed their hair. They threw something on. Are they really ready to crank out their day? Are they really ready to be useful and to do things for other people and to help this world get around? I don't think so. Why? Because they just don't feel really good about themselves. They're just not ready. So exercise can do that, and I promise you it will do that. 10 or 15 minutes in the morning. Like if you're not a person that loves to do it, 10 or 15 minutes in the morning. Get out of bed and do it, and then clean up and start your day. I'm telling you, it'll have a world of difference in your life. It'll bring about a world of difference if you're not already doing it. It does not have to be a lot. That's the big lie. It just has to be done on a regular basis, and you will feel better. I want you to catch the why, because if the why is there, the how is there. And why should we call Overhead Door of Daytona Beach? Because they are the area's premier garage door company. They have the best service and they have the best doors. So give them a call if you need any help, because their garage doors go up and their garage doors go down. 386-222-3165. Until I talk to you next time, try to be Max Fit and try to be Maxwell.